Okay, we just finished the chamfer demo. The demo before that was doing corners, and we'll go into the next bracket where I create fillets, drafts, shells, and pockets. So this is going to be demo number 3 for day 9 assignment. Get the L-shaped bracket. Okay, so that's what I'm going to name it, and this time I'm going 4x4x4. So create this sketch, going into sketch and doing a profile. I use my grid to help me figure out where 4 is, and up here in the top in your tools palette you'll have the length here. So I'm going to go 4, ½ inch over, make sure the part winds up being a ½ inch. This will be 4 inches in length. I'll go right to auto constrain and use these datum edges as my references. Stack dimension it. Select OK. Go right to contact. Contact it to my axis. Move your constraints out so you can read them. They're nice and pretty for whoever has to use this. Okay. And then we'll exit out. And I did it again. We'll go ahead and build our pad. 4 inches in the reverse direction. And the reason why we do that is so all our constraints are sitting on the front. Select OK. When I do my draw view, this plane here is the plane that will be on the front view, and you want all the dimensions on the front. You want to maintain that same continuity. Drag and drop sketch 1 into the part body so that it's sitting in pad 1. Okay. So what was I going to do? Let's put in a corner, and I'll go 0.5, and let's put in a chamfer, and I'll go with 1/8 of an inch, so 1 divided by 8, and hit tab. It will calculate that to 0.125. So I got 1/8 inch chamfer on the top. It might be easier if I view this in wireframe. So there's my chamfer. There's my fillet. Next, I'm going to talk about draft angles. Under a draft angle, I'm going to do an angle. I'll leave the angle as 5. Face to draft would be this back surface. The neutral element is, if I pick the top surface, it will start from the top and go down at a 5-degree angle. So when I hit preview, you kind of see where it's going to land. So I'll make this a little more obvious, and I'll change this to 15-degree angle. Click off in no man's land so you can hit preview or hit tab, and you can see that it's going to add material from this top edge down. So it's important to set your neutral fiber. If you change your neutral fiber from the top to the bottom, it's going to grow from the bottom out. If you put a plane right in the middle, it will grow upward into the part and then going down away from the part. So the logical one for this is a neutral fiber on the top, so I could select the top face of the existing part. To add material, when I select OK, it puts on a draft angle. Okay, so the draft angle normally is used for castings, forgings, moldings, stuff like that, where you would have 2 tool fixtures that are forming the shape of the part. When I pull the two parts apart, the part on the inside, if it's straight up and down, it will want to lock and get stuck in the tool. So you usually put a little bit of a draft angle so that you can remove your part. Or it could be used for this example where I'm just adding a material at a 15-degree angle. Okay, so that was this one here. That's the draft angle. This one here, where did that shell go? There's several different ways to do drafts that are in there. I'm just going to cover this one for the 185 basic class. So I'm looking for this icon right here called the shell icon. I believe under model is where shell is. I can shell this part out, and I'll go back to, let's go 1/8 of an inch thickness. And if I hit, oh, I don't have a preview button. If I hit OK right now, see what it's going to do is it's going to remove that whole thing on the inside. So that's how you can make the part hollow. All right, all that is actually going to be removed material. Or I'm going to hit undo, and I'm going to hit shell and do 1/8 of an inch again. So it's at 0.125, and I'm just going to rotate and grab the bottom surface. And what it will do is it will hollow that part out. I'm going to hit OK. See how it hollowed? I shouldn't have done that fast. I hit that bottom, and it removes that bottom face, so you can actually put your hand in there. It's actually an open area. All right, I'll go back to view, and I will shade this, and I'm going to go to shell and change that to salmon color. Hopefully you can see the inside there a little bit easier. So not only did it shell it, but see how you have that radius in here? It knew to offset that radius and increase it, the radius size, to the same amount of the thickness of my shell. It did that also way up on the inside for that draft chamfer. Sorry, the chamfer on the inside is making it that much smaller because it's going on the inside. Okay, so I didn't have much more room I could go without that thing zeroing out. Okay, so I'll do one more thing here under review. I'm sorry, refine. I've done fillets, chamfers, drafts. I want to add material by using thickness. If I click on this, I can grab this face here and go 1 inch thick, and I'll add 1 inch of material to just that one wall. So everything else remained the 1/8 inch thick, and then this one wall went a little bit bigger. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a window in here by selecting this face and going into sketch, go to rectangle and throw a rectangle in here. Exit out. Okay, and we'll go to model, and I'm looking for pocket. Good Lord, where did pocket go? So pocket is under pad. I'll select pocket, If I hit preview right now, what's going to happen is that window shoots all the way through, which might be cool. But if you want to control where it's going, I recommend changing the dimension type to 2 different kinds. Up to next, preview will go through just that first portion, okay, which is what I want to do. Because if you do up to last and I hit preview, it's going to go all the way through the part. So if I were to add more stuff, it'd just keep on plowing through. If I were to go up to plane, I could pick this plane here and it will stop at that plane. It won't go any further than that plane. Okay, if I select OK to that, it won't have any material in there anyways because I just stopped it at that back plane. So again, I could double click that pocket under up to plane. I could actually pick this plane and preview, and then it goes all the way through that part, which would be identical to doing up to last. I would get the same results. Unless I added more material, something else that was coming out here and sticking out, up to last will keep going through that, where up to plane or up to surface would have the same results if I use that surface there as a limit. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to use up to next. So just that portion of the window is cut out. I will, for clarity, change the properties and get some colors going on in here. Okay, just so I'm identifying the different things that have happened. I've already colored the shell. Let's see what would happen if I color this one. Let's make that green. Okay, I got the shell and the draft that are going to overlap each other, so you can only color one. Alright, now one thing I want to show you here, if I go to refine and then do another corner, select this edge and key in 0.25, it should corner this up in here, but it won't. Okay, the reason why it won't corner that is the inside, and I'd have to come in and corner it now on the inside, is because this corner came in before the shell. Okay, so really if I wanted that, I have to have that corner in before the shell. Now I can still do that. I can delete this out and I can make the draft the in-work object. When I make this draft the in-work object, it doesn't recognize the shell thickness pocket happening yet. So I can go into the corner command and grab this edge and go with a 1/4 inch fillet. Now don't panic, it's no longer recognizing the shell, thick, and pocket. That's why we want to go to the part body and make it the in-work object. When you make the part body the in-work object, it recognizes everything in the tree. So now, not only do I have this particular fillet, okay, on that edge there, but when I go to look on the inside, there's that little fillet on the inside that's offset from the fillet I just added. Alright, that concludes my demo on the refine tool using fillets, chamfers, drafts, and thickness. Now, I think shell should be here, but it's under model is where you'll find the shell command. And then I did a pocket, which is found underneath the pad command to make the window. Alright, I'd like to see you go ahead and make that part. You're going to make a snapshot of all of the parts that you made so I can see it. I don't need a drawing of this. We don't have the hand sketches for this particular class. So if we didn't do the hand sketches in this class, we will be bypassing that for right now. Due to the COVID virus, I haven't done live demos on a board yet, so I gotta figure out a way to do that. Alright, so that's your exercise here for assignment day 9 to try and build these 3 parts.